Welcome back. We slightly apologize for that late start off. Well, the Federal Executive Council approved Nigeria's first economic policy aimed at promoting the use of locally manufactured goods and services in all government acquisitions. This policy is in alignment with President Tinubu's goal of driving industrialization, insulating the economy from global disruptions, and boosting local production in the country. Also, FEC directed the Bureau of Public Procurement to establish new laws in favor of local manufacturers and service providers. The policy, according to the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, is to be backed by an executive order in a short while. Now, joining me for this conversation is public affairs analyst Stephen Nia, right here in the studio. Good to have you on the show, Stephen. Fantastic. And of course, I have Dr. Adeni Ojikutu. They are both here. It's a full house.
Thank you. It's good to be here today.
All right, Stephen Nia, I'm going to start with you very quickly. Now, it's about time, the Nigeria's first policy. What was your impression the first time you heard this news about FEC backing Nigeria's first policy to support local manufacturers?
I think it's a good aspiration.
Okay.
And because it has three components of what you could consider an actionable hope.
Okay.
Basically, firstly, it has clear goals, clearly defined goals,
right?
Actionable pathways, and they've demonstrated a willingness to ensure compliance, transparency, and accountability.
Okay.
My first impression is it's a good aspiration of Brandon.
Good aspiration. All right, Dr. Adeni, quickly, what are some of the constraints that might hamper this vision? Because Nigerians are having a bit of, doubts concerning how well it would take off, considering how deeper we have gone with not appreciating what we produce locally, from the very beginning.
How best can we go, or what are the challenges?
Yes, challenges, exactly.
We might
constraints,
face
in
implementation. Number one, do we have the infrastructure to back it up? We want local companies to continue to manufacture.
Right.
The basic infrastructure is electricity. Let's go head on to make sure we address
that.
Number two, cultural issues and cultural steps. Now, when you want to have an attitudinal change, you talk about attitude, behavioral parts, and all that. You must lead by example. You must be an enabler as a policy provider or as leaders.
Right.
So as the federal government has gone ahead to give us a direction,
right,
it will trickle down to the states, trickle down to the local government.
Right.
How do I mean? There should be a behavioral pattern and change.
Right.
That if you see some states that are manufacturing fabrics, you see that maybe the governors are also patronizing them and encouraging.
Okay.
So you have to make sure the president, the executive council members should pick a day, maybe one of the executive council meetings, everybody, your cap, your shoes, your bags,
made in Nigeria.
Must be made in Nigeria. Those are the subtle campaigns.
Okay.
And I tell you, if these are made, everybody should have their local shoemakers, Nigerian shoemakers, Nigerian cloth makers, Nigerian, IT providers. Use a mobile phone that is manufactured in Nigeria. Use a Nigerian car. Use things that buy a software that is manufactured in Nigeria.
But
if these are done, that will go farther and farther than you spending a lot of money on campaign because you already a policy direction provider. You are a leader and you'll be an enabler.
All right, Stephen, from what he's just said now, it's obvious that it's a very good idea. But you see, Nigerians are very, very concerned about quality most of the time. That's why you find, we hear that people who manufacture clothes in Aba and the likes, and they put tags of Italy tags on their clothes just for the clothes to get patronage because they don't believe made in Nigeria would attract, that investment that they're looking for. Now, we're a country where people have actually lost confidence in what they feel is made in Nigeria. They perceive it to be low quality. How do you address that to speed up, this beautiful development that is coming up?
Okay, I think the first step is we need to first recognize where we are.
Okay.
And be able to anticipate where we want to get to.
Okay.
So capacity building is essential.
Okay.
And even at this, we don't start by just building random capacity.
Okay.
We need a policy framework that can ensure this capacity is channeled in a particular direction. And the first step is what has happened now.
All right.
Because once people start seeing that your products are now in demand, because if you notice, one of the key elements of this policy is a supplier database.
Okay.
So you can be sure it's going to be a competitive system. So you can be rest assured that even the quality of product being produced would evolve over time to something more substantial and more appreciated.
Okay.
But when the database start coming up, the competition will increase, strategy for production will go up, and quality will definitely fall in place.
All right, fine. Now, Doctor, before we move away from this topic finally, now, how do you think we can get our young people to key into this? Because a lot of them are very crazy about foreign designers. You see them flag designers of different kinds. You know, there's even classism when it comes to that. You're not carrying a particular bag that has a big brand. You're not seen to be recognized amongst the society. So now how can you bring the youth to buy into this ideology so that they actually forget about the fact that the people selling these things to us to want to make money?
The truth is that, let me give you a very basic example.
Right.
And the example is the clothing lines.
Okay.
We have a lot of Nigerian designers that are doing fantastical well.
All right.
Before now, do you remember when people would travel to London to go and buy something,
Okay.
t-shirt, office shirts?
Yeah.
But now, Nigerian tailors are making shirts.
Yeah,
They are
true.
making fantastic native, and people are patronizing them all over the world.
True.
To this end, for the fact that there is a cultural change and dynamics, there is what is called cultural diffusion. That diffusion, by the time everybody begins to do it, you will not realize when it becomes a norm that, okay, I'm wearing Nigeria, proudly Nigeria. So the leaders from the federal to the state and the local,
Okay.
and even policy people, policy advocates, and leaders across board,
Yeah.
religious leaders and all that, we should try as much as possible to make sure we help the government. When we are saying this in this direction, we are actually solving the problem of over-dependence on foreign goods and items. And the world is moving away from the issue of unending globalization to minimum globalization, which is called deglobalization. So we will not, most countries are not saying it. President of the United States of America pronounced his, and with the slogan of America First, and imposition of tariffs, and it has a lot of issues around it.
Yeah.
But on our own part, we are just encouraging people to buy Nigeria. So by the time we increase the cultural involvement and the youth and everybody is buying into it, I tell you, local companies, local SMEs, local businesses will begin to spring up for international and global competition.
All right. Thank you very much. Now, let's move on to our next discussion for the night.